Okay, so I will demonstrate a piriformis stretch. Piriformis stretch, or the piriformis muscle goes from an anterior surface of the sacrum and comes out from inside of the pelvis to the greater trochanter, approximately over here on your femur, not the femoral head, but the greater trochanter of the femur, ear laterally. Okay, so you're probably familiar with the piriformis syndrome and so forth. So in this case, I'm going to start by stretching my right side. So for this stretch, we want to get into a nice seated position. We want to try to keep as much contact as possible for both the sitting bone or the ischial tuberosity. So from this position, we're going to strengthen the non-stretching leg. We're going to bring the pelvis into a little bit of anterior pelvic tilt, and we want to press down nice and strongly with those sitting bone down to the ground as much as we can. We want to try to almost make a contact with the Coxyc, all right, the tip of the sacrum, the tip of the tail, let's say. Okay, so we want to point the toes of the non-stretching leg toward the mouth. However, we're going to have a internal rotation. We want to have both hands at the back. So once we are in this position, we're going to walk the leg out like so. All right, we're going to bring the knee down. As you can see, my sitting bone are lifting, so I got to work really hard to press down and bring down the sitting bone down to the ground, all right? Because ideally, to have a complete stretch, or the best position is to perform this stretch, or is to get to have both sitting bone to the ground. I'm still stretching the piriformis over here. I'm not quite there, but I'm working on. So this is the piriformis stretch. Sweet. Hold the position for about 30 seconds, and you can come up, swap leg, anterior pelvic tilt, or a slight anterior pelvic tilt, and then is quite of a deep stretch, a deep external rotator of the hip, so you would expect it to be a deep stretch. It's a great stretch for those people I mentioned before in other video tutorial, for those people that have impingement in the anterior capsule of the femur or the of the hip. So this is the myofascial piriformis stretch tutorial.